Hey, hey, it's Lowry Smith of the CommanderSmiths here with Searching for the Spotlight, Umbris Fear Manifest, Part 3. And this is kind of just like an update because I did some major deck changes and I want to talk through why I cut them. I'm not going to talk about the cards that I added, just the thoughts behind what I added. So Umbris kind of started out and I wanted to do some cool stuff with Orvar because he's also, can be considered a horror. And I had a big section, a package essentially of card spells, instant sorceries that would target horrors and create copies. And I thought that was a really neat idea. And also, the problem here is it's a lot of dedication, and so I cut all this. Obviously, I cut all this. This isn't going to be in the deck. That's a big shift in the way that the deck works. And unblockability, blinking, allowing trying to protect from death. And Orvar was going to be kind of a cool thing, almost like a secret commander a little bit. And why it was cut. So one thing that happens when I'm building a deck, and it can happen. Not sure if it always happens, but the easiest way to find cuts is to have packages within there. So you got the Orvar package. I also cut my wheel package pretty much. So Windfall, Whispering, there just wasn't a lot of support here. Abyssal Nocturnus was sweet with these wheels, but not very good otherwise. And then you're not drawing a ton of cards with Psychosis Crawler. It's 5 mana. You could probably get a cheaper horror for what's going on. So I cut those two packages, right? But Orvar is the big one. And so thought process behind this big reason was the deck felt super clunky. And what can happen in a deck that relies on the commander to kind of get moving and working and everything is um, the deck doesn't start doing anything until the commander comes out. And then also you need enough protection because if the commander's not out, then the deck doesn't do anything. And a problem I was having was I was literally not doing anything. I had cut my ramp down to 10. I had cut my drawing down to 11 and I absolutely was not getting enough ramp or drawing. And so I upped my draw count, I upped my ramp count, and I upped my actual protection. So Lightning Greaves went back in. And Shroud is going to be able to help and give Umbra some good spot removal protection. Um, and and I added some more some the best thing that I can the best way I can say it is like an equipment you can set up before your commander comes out. And it doesn't have to be an equipment, it can be enchantments, it can be creatures, but I just didn't have anything that was coming out before Umbris was being played. And a big thing, kind of Orvar, what spells do is they have you after the card comes out. And if you're not doing setup before, then you're waiting until your commander comes out. And I prefer to be able to do my setup before and then boom, commander comes into play. And maybe I pay one or two to protect it fully with something like Shroud or Hexproof or Indestructible or whatever, whatever you're doing. This is just a general idea. And so if you have to be really heavy on the draw, really heavy on um, your ramp, especially if you want to do everything after your commander comes out. And so what I did was just make sure that I had enough ramp, enough draw, and make sure that I'm getting to this consistently, like turn 4, at least turn 5. You can't be missing land drops. You can't be missing horror drops. You want to be able to play horrors. And so I've added a few more clone effects in there just to copy Umbris. And because that, kind of doubles up, it has like a panharmonicon effect. And that's kind of where the deck has been going. And so if you can identify packages within your decks of what you want to be going on, that's a good way of just going, okay, this cut, this cut, this cut. And then you're able to add in more consistency into your deck with drawing a ramp or removal or whatever you feel like you don't have enough of. Um, because I do think a mill package, if you're milling, and I think that's the way a lot of people are going with Umbris, that allows you to mill and then you're messing with people's graveyards and you don't need Umbris out. With what I was doing was I needed Umbris out to actually move the game plan forward. And that can, like I said, it can be an issue because if somebody just goes removal and you're done, then you, as long as you're drawing enough, as long as you're ramping enough, and then you, I just didn't have the protection. So that is kind of where it went. And the deck is starting to feel a lot better, a lot smoother, doing stuff beforehand, doing stuff after. Um, and another thing that I didn't realize or bring into my calculations when doing a deck is there's a lot of land in decks, or there can be. And when I was running through my decks, just like practicing, I was only milling, exiling with a horror ETB. It was like 3 to 5 cards on average. And that's not really moving a whole ton. It's not moving super quick. And so there's plenty of mill cards out there that can hit a ton. Nemesis of Reason. There's there's an orb. There's some good solid mill cards out there that can hit a ton of cards, and there's plenty of exile effects, and you can get Umbris huge before it even comes in play. And I still haven't moved into the mill package, but I do have one set aside. But I think where I'm at right now and what I'm going to spotlight at this point when I do the deck tech on it is going to be a little different. It'll be clones, it'll be Umbris, it'll be the ETB effects still, and I like where it's going at this point. So this was nice, short, sweet. I hope a lot of that made sense. And if not, ask some questions in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer with ideas and thoughts. All right. Thanks for checking it out. Have a good one. Bye. Bye.